You had quite the game last night as we record the podcast between Baylor and TCU. And in that game, Baylor fell to 0-2. It was a wild game. Fell to 0-2 in the Big 12 with that 88-87 loss. And on Saturday, Baylor gets Kansas State, and longtime former Baylor assistant coach Jerome Tang. The Wildcats are playing great. They're 13-1, 2-0 in the Big 12. Coach Tang, I'm sure they're loving him up there. They're not drinking the Kool-Aid, they're drinking the Tang.
I like it.
So what kind of pressure's on Baylor? I mean, this feels kind of like a must win.
Yeah, I think it's become that. And to me, this is like a game where Coach Tang and K-State has everything to gain. Scott, Drew, and Baylor's kind of, this is almost like a desperation game where they're at right now. And K-State's playing really great basketball. It was hard to tell at the start of the year just how good they were because, their non-conference schedule really wasn't that good, but they were winning. And, but boy, they've really proven it so far. They beat West Virginia at home overtime to start Big 12. And then they went on the road and beat Texas 116-103. And really, I think that's what's really gotten everybody's attention is to go on the road and beat a really good Texas team ranked number 6. And, Jerome, he's done it like a lot of the coaches do now with transfers. He's brought in some really good ones. Now Marquise Now was there last year, but he had already played at Arkansas Little Rock. Keontae Johnson, really good forward for them. He's a transfer from Florida. Naquan Tomlin, he's a JUCO transfer. Cam Carter, Mississippi State transfer. So they've got a whole bunch, but I think the most impressive thing is the way Jerome has brought them together and developed a chemistry so quickly. And so, yeah, it should be just a fantastic atmosphere.
Yeah, a lot of emotion, I'm sure, with Coach Drew and Coach Tang. I think much like Dave Aranda and Joey McGuire, if you look at, another sport like volleyball, and Ryan McGuire had a guy, Jason Williams, on his staff who went up to TCU and did a great job at TCU this year as a first-year head coach. I think much like Joey McGuire, much like Jason Williams in those other sports, I think Jerome Tang was a head coach in waiting.
Exactly.
I think he was just a guy waiting for a job, basically. And I think K-State is a good fit. He knows the Big 12, and he's just so personable. And I think players like him, so that's a good fit, to me. And just like Joey really fits in Lubbock, I think, how can the folks in Manhattan not like Coach Tang?
Yeah. Just like you said, a great personality, a real, I can imagine recruits just love him.
Yeah.
And he really waited his time. I mean, he'd been with Scott for 20 years. He had other job offers, just waited for the right one to come along, and looks like he made the right choice.
No doubt.